Hi, I'm Sergeant First Class Eldridge Cunningham, and this is your First in the West update. Today we will show you images of the recent visit of our 1st Army's Commanding General, plus scenes of our medical logistics unit involved in some innovative pre-deployment training. We'll also highlight the retirement dinner and ceremony of our Division West Chief of Staff. All of this is coming your way now at First in the West. During a recent visit with Division West soldiers, 1st Army's Commanding General Lieutenant General J. Michael Bednarik focused much of his attention to the troops' training at North Fort Hood. Sergeant First Class Gary Stacy has more.
1st Army's Commanding General spent time with 316th Expeditionary Sustainment Command soldiers as they completed their pre-deployment training at North Fort Hood prior to their departure for Kuwait.
Reacting to contact, reacting to an IED, doing a vulnerable point search, doing all that. You're all over.
Lieutenant General J. Michael Bednarik conveyed his thoughts as to why it's important for these soldiers to see 1st Army's leadership before departing for their mission.
For these young soldiers getting ready to deploy, they want to see their senior leaders getting out to checking their dipsticks, seeing how they're doing, and not only checking the quality of training, but more importantly for them, that they have somebody that's going to be able to listen to them to ensure that the training is to the standard expected, knowing that they're getting something that's current, that's relevant for them heading into the fight, but also that they can see their senior leaders engaging with them on a day-to-day basis, sharing the hardships and seeing how they're performing.
The Commanding General also commented about North Fort Hood's Longhorn aviation facilities, which have lately been undergoing infrastructure improvements.
It is one of the largest here that we can use for a combination of different types of formations. Engineers, sustainment, aviation obviously, which is significant for our nation as we mobilize our reserve component forces. And Fort Hood, Texas overall, especially here at North Forest, gives us the throughput, the capacity, and the large area of land, plus the facilities and training areas that's perfect for what we do.
I'm Sergeant First Class Gary Stacy for First in the West.
Division West Chief of Staff was recently honored for his service to his nation. Here are some highlights of both the retirement dinner and ceremony for Colonel Raymond Lacey.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them kick their cars and drive them old trucks. Let them be doctors and lawyers and such. And I'll try, and I'll try, and I'll try. No satisfaction. Was it on? Stars spreading anew. I'm leaving today. If I can make it. I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
I'm here today because Command Sergeant Major retired Jeff Kennedy and Command Sergeant Major Joe Gainey personally taught me how to survive on the battlefield as well as move around the battlefield of Iraq. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. When Wendy and I got up this morning and she asked me was I excited about graduating from the Army today, a little joke on her part, in part I was, but I am also sad that I wouldn't be able to tell a new acquaintance when asked, what do you do for a living, proudly say, I'm an officer in the United States Army. I am proud to be a soldier. 30 years ago, June 5th, I was commissioned as Second Lieutenant in the United States Army.
Over the last 28 years together in the military, I've enjoyed every moment of it. We've been tour to tour for the 28 years, and I guess we finally did really end the wild ride, but it's always been my pleasure to serve our nation by FRG groups and spouse clubs and all those things. It filled my heart with joy.
This is really a celebration today. It's a celebration of really honorable and faithful service to our nation, stretching 30 years, a little bit beyond 30 years.
Culminating training events are always necessary for those deploying soldiers, and is no less so for those working in a field where care for soldiers is critical. Sergeant First Class Gary Stacy has more.
Medical logistics is a very involved aspect of Army preparedness, and yet it's here that the process of caring for soldiers, especially those in need of medical attention, really begins.
This end of the warehouse, we have the shipping section detailed with ensuring that all the medical material that goes outbound is accurate and sent out immediately. On the other side of the warehouse, we also have the receiving section. And with the receiving section, they ensure that any medical material that's coming in is also accurate and then gets sent to the storage area. As we walk further down here, we have the storage area, and they're challenged with ensuring that this medical material is put on the shelf accurately and correctly.
And of course, the customers are U.S. soldiers in need of medical supplies. For the soldiers of the 392nd Medical Logistics Company preparing for a mission to Qatar, the training is very real.
We break down those supplies that we receive, and we make sure it's all accounted for, it's all on the TOs, and we separate it by DODAX for each customer.
I like the fact that we're concerned about stockage levels. We're concerned about making sure that the customers are getting what they ordered, when they ordered, and just focusing a lot more on the customer service aspect to make sure that we're supporting the war fighters out there.
There's a lot to it, and if you didn't know better, you might actually get taken in by all the activity at this North Fort Hood warehouse. But all the effort involving shipping, receiving, and working with a sophisticated ordering system is all for training.
It's important that soldiers are familiar with the materials that they're handling, because in this case it's a controlled substance. Only certain units, such as surgical units or hospitals, or some special operators, should have access to this item. This is known as part of our controlled inventory that's handled by a board-certified pharmacist as well as our pharmacy tech.
The Division West surgeon offers some insight.
Overall, any training that we do, we want to provide, from Division West and First Army's perspective, the most realistic and challenging training that we can possibly provide to our deploying soldiers. Having said that, the medical mission only resides in Division West for First Army. So it's a unique, functional training set that we undertake here at Division West, and that's why it's important to us.
Reporting from North Fort Hood, I'm Sergeant First Class Gary Stacy with First in the West.
And that's it for this edition of First in the West. Join us again next time.